Here are going to be 3 projects that I'm personally looking at that are extremely underrated and have a huge potential for growth. And the project that has the potential for the quickest gains is going to be CryptoBats. Now, CryptoBats is a brand new project. It's not out yet, right? So you have the potential to get on that whitelist and mint it. And what makes CryptoBats amazing is, when you go on the website, cool, it's like these, 2D pixel bats, but it's created in partnership with Ozzy Osbourne. He's basically a rock star legend that has been performing for decades. He has a huge following of millions of followers, and he's really well known for biting the head off a bat on stage, right? So that's probably why they're using the bat here. This is a collaboration between this company called Sutter Systems, which is like an NFT company, and they're collaborating with Ozzy Osbourne to create these CryptoBats. There's gonna be 9,666 bats, essentially, right? And they're gonna have all sorts of different characteristics to them. But what actually makes this really interesting is that this particular bat, they built this utility where a bat can bite another project, meaning that they have Bored Ape Yacht Club, CryptoToads, Subducks, and then the other one is gonna be CyberKongs. And essentially, if you're holding one of these blue chip projects and you have a bat, that bat can bite your blue chip project and then gain the characteristics of that NFT, right? If you have a bat that bites a Bored Ape Yacht Club, then you have like a monkey bat. Or if you have a bat that bites the CyberKong, then you're gonna have like a Kong combined with a bat put together, right? You can only bite one time, and then whatever your bat evolves to, that's what it's gonna be forever. So you have to really choose carefully on which product should I bite, which one would be the most valuable, because you're always trying to increase the value of your assets. And I haven't seen another project do that. Well, it's quite innovative in the space, and I really respect people that do something different. They're gonna use this golden ratio to design the bat. These are just like design elements, right? And then they have this thing called ancient bats. So have you ever heard of this concept or a website called Geocachers? It's basically like a real life scavenger hunt. You go online, they'll be like, oh, you can find this treasure chest on top of this tree in this park, and then you can go there and actually find it. So what they're doing that's really unique is that they're giving you the opportunity to claim or mint these ancient bats, and they're gonna spread them all over the world. They're gonna like create some kind of quiz or puzzle where you get to find these random QR codes, and then you scan it, and then you can have the opportunity to mint a bat, which may be very valuable in the future. That's really interesting because I haven't seen an NFT project do this kind of like geocaching like utility where you might go to a bar, and then the QR code is like under a table in this random dive bar in the middle of nowhere, and then boom, that thing's worth like a lot of money, right? Ancient bats that you find in these places have more utility, and they can bite other NFT projects. So you kind of look at the map, they're gonna put these geocaching elements, all over the world essentially. You got Australia, a lot in the US, a lot in Europe. Okay, so going into the team themselves, I'm not sure if they're doxed or not. It doesn't show their full name here, but essentially if you kind of look at it, they have a lot of years of experience. They don't put their real names up front. Maybe a red flag for some people, but I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, he's already doxed, right? His reputation is on the line for this to go well. So if you wanna learn how to mint it, just go on their Discord, see the instructions on like being active in the community, things like that, and then you try to get that whitelist spot. All right, so the next underrated project that we are going to be looking at is going to be CyberKong VX. I know I talk about CyberKongs a lot, but personally for me, I recently just bought 4 of these VXs just literally like 2 days ago. And let me tell you why. Right now, a VX is gonna be 1.7 ETH, right? And the VX essentially looks like this. It's like a 3D character model that you can use in different metaverses. On the tech side, I know that they're really trying hard to make sure that this particular avatar can be implemented into many different metaverses and not just like the sandbox. And with these models, right, you can rig it up to kind of do anything, right? You can get your CyberKong to do some breakdancing or fly on a jetpack or whatever it is, right? So it's like a fully functional 3D model that you can use everywhere, and that's essentially the future of the metaverse. So I already had a bunch of these before. I've been holding them for the long term, and then I recently bought 4 more, and it's not really cheap because each one's gonna be like 5K. I feel like CyberKongs is very underrated, right? Because CyberKongs themselves, they don't really do a lot of like outbound marketing. They don't pay influencers to hype it up. It's really grown organically and with a solid community. This is the cheapest entry price into the CyberKongs community right now. My personal take is that once the sandbox comes out, and once you can use these characters in the sandbox, and once it becomes the norm to use like a 3D character in different metaverses, I feel like the prices of these are gonna go up quite a bit, especially because CyberKongs is an innovator in this space. They got the best VX models, just period, in the NFT space, right? 6 months from now, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see like every other project like Bear Deluxe, Kaiju Kings, and things like that will kind of mimic that model and create their own VXs, and everybody's gonna have a VX, right? So when people look back in time and they say like what had the cultural significance that set the trend, people are gonna say CyberKong. So personally for me, I think a CyberKong can get to, let's say, 5 or 10 ETH. I'm not gonna say when because, you know, nobody really knows the price, but that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And also if we kind of compare it to, let's say, Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? Right now, a floor Bored Ape might be like 60 or 70 ETH or something. And then there's like the Mutant Ape and then the Bored Kennel Club. So essentially when the main project pumps, the second one goes up and then the third one goes up as well. Probably the same is gonna happen with Cyberkongs, where they have the Genesis, which is like 70 ETH or something like that right now. Then they have the babies, which are like 5 to 7 ETH, depending on when you watch this. And then they have these ones, which are 1.7, right? And for me, this is like a blue chip project. So, and it could go down, right? But it probably keep going up because they're building so much utility. This is the most affordable tier that will probably pump up in price when 3D avatars become the meta in the NFT space. Okay, so the next project that we're gonna be talking about is going to be Forgotten Rune Wizards. So Forgotten Rune Wizards is essentially like an NFT project for like wizards, fantasy, Dungeon and Dragon kind of type of people. So, you know, I always love to see like specific niches because the riches are always in the niches. Everything's on chain, meaning that, you know, all the data for these characters, all the art and everything is on the Ethereum blockchain. It's not on a random server. For a lot of on-chain fans, this is really critical, but if you don't care, then it doesn't really matter. So the price pumped quite a bit recently. You know, back in December, the average price was like 1.6 ETH, and then like now the average price is like 4-ish, 3-ish. Okay, so what makes this project particularly interesting is that these guys don't really focus too much on the floor price. They just focus on trying to build a strong community. What are the principles of the cult? Wizards are for everyone. It's like an open community. Lower, not floor, meaning that it's all about building a story, building out this IP, not about like, oh, come on, somebody pump my bags. Anytime someone's building, that's always a good thing, right? And this project actually came out more than 6 months ago. And at that time, it was like very quiet. Nobody was really talking about it. It was not on anybody's radar. You know, only recently the price really started to pump. That's always a good example of a team will build for the long term, right? Even if, you know, they make a bunch of money, they could just leave and they could just walk away with the money, but they try to build that community. And over time, it shows in the value of the floor prices because people want to be a part of something, right? I feel like this project tackled a specific niche, which is like the Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings kind of vibe. Niche communities are very strong because you only need a few thousand people to make a project valuable. If you go to the Book of Lore, you can write your own lore within the Ethereum chain, which for this kind of niche following, they really feel like they're a part of something, you know, like being part of these wizards. The art is actually pretty good as well. And I feel like what makes it really strong is like the community. There are a lot of people who are artists who like this kind of stuff. They're creating derivatives of the project. And a lot of times the derivatives can actually look better than the 2D sprite. And they also have different programs like guilds. So like what a guild really means, it's actually quite genius. It's like the project creates a guild within their project and they're like, oh, you like marketing? Well, here's some opportunities for you to do marketing for our project. And you're essentially working for a DAO, essentially, right? A decentralized organization. That's really cool because a lot of projects, they kind of have their headquarters, a team of like 5 people, and they kind of do everything themselves. But for this project, they're really actively trying to recruit the community to be a part of this project, kind of like working with them to grow this project. The Wizards are going to be able to implement them in different metaverses. So think of like World Wide Web, for example, right? You can deploy that into the actual ecosystem. They're going to be coming out with different IPs like a comic book. They're also going to create their own metaverse, kind of vague what that means, but I'm sure they're going to create their own world. They want to create an animated short. So you want to think of like this project more like an IP, like a Dungeons and Dragons, right? They can make anything out of it, whether it's a video game, a board game, a card game, a comic book. So if you're into wizards and things like that, go ahead and check it out. And with that said, those are going to be some projects I'm looking at. I'll see you guys in the next one.